Alright, what's up everybody? I know it's been a minute since I made a video. I just been working on stuff like crazy. Haven't really made one. But what I'm working on today, and I think I've got something going here. So I've got the 1811 and the 782 sitting here. So my original plan was one of these I just wanted to dedicate towards snow removal. Hadn't really decided which one. Got to thinking, like, well, I've got this 1541. The lift adjustment's all messed up. I've only got one other deck anyways. Probably going to work on that one because that one sits way too high in the front. And I started thinking, okay, well, if it sits higher in the front, that's going to give me more blade clearance, which has always been an issue I've had with these. They just don't lift high enough, and so if you try to drive through a decent amount of snow, yeah, So what I was thinking is I had it's actually a Mag 20. I got it, it was all kinds of messed up. The exhaust on it was stuck. This obviously came out of something else, don't know what. And so it had regular bolts, which I'll show you some stuff here in a minute, but it had regular bolts kind of like with this here. This stud's out of this engine, so just kind of ignore that. But it had this. Well, this thing had a massive exhaust leak because they had snapped, I don't even remember which side it was, they had snapped one of them off, and so there wasn't anything holding the exhaust down except the one in the back. What was leaking where the exhaust bolt was, obviously. So that side was running hot. I'm like, well, because they had welded the muffler to the exhaust pieces, which, not this. They'd welded the exhaust pieces together on the muffler, and this thing was leaking oil somewhere. And I'm like, well, I don't have use for it because this crankshaft is huge. I don't know what this came out of, but like compared to this, like, I mean, it's yeah, I know it's technical, right? So I'm like, well, I don't have use for it because I can't find a PTO that fits it. They had one on it, it had locked up and just shredded the bearings in it. And instead of trying to find another one, I'm like, well, I'll just find another engine, slap it in here. That's what I did. This thing has set since then. So I finally started thinking, like, well, like, there's a machine shop. They deal in like racing car engines. I'm like, I've had them done work before. I'm like, I'll take it up there, see if they can do something with them, get these bolts out, which they did. And I don't know if they had to drill them out. I don't know what they did, but they got them all out. And as you can tell, they helicoiled the holes, so I can put an exhaust back on this thing. Well, since I can put an exhaust back on it, I can use it. So I threw the jugs back on it. This is as far as I've gotten so far. Ignore the bench. It's a cluster right now. I originally was going to start tearing parts off of that one to get this one going, but I'm like, no, because I don't like having scabs of motors just laying everywhere. I mean, I could. I'm not using that one. There's another one sitting in there that I'm not using. It's complete and runs. That was complete and runs. Plus the one in this one is complete and runs. Plus the other ones in there are complete and run. So I'm like, I've got a backup for a backup for a backup at this point. I'm like, I could scab parts off of this one, throw it on the Mag 20, get this thing up and running, but then this one's going to be left in just pieces, which I might end up doing that anyways. I haven't really decided yet, because I do not have a starter for this one. I do not have a magneto for this one. I've kind of got a carb sitting there for this one. I've got a manifold. I got to work with it because I tried to put a regular starter on it off of this one, with the flywheel that was on this one, and it touched and rubbed. So I don't know. I might fiddle with it some more, but try it anyways. What I'm thinking is, since I can't use this one for anything because of the PTO, I've still got to pick it up from the guy. I've got a frame that has power steering in it, and it's complete. He pulled the rear end out of it. Everything else is still there. So I want to make a dedicated snow remover, right? Throw the power steering in this, throw the Mag 20 in here, because it's going to have more power, it's going to have more grunt. The hydro is probably going to give out before the engine does, but why not? And then so power steering is going to be nice when I throw the snow blade on it. So that's my plan for right now. Like I said, just kind of slowly working on this one. Like I said, just got it to where it looks like now. I am going to paint it just because it matches. Like I said, that's obviously out of something, and that's actually the shroud off of it. That shroud's all cut up and messed up. I got to find and source some different ones. Nothing wrong with it, except they had the different starter on it. They cut that big air gap out of it. And I mean, it probably honestly doesn't hurt it. Probably not going to hurt it. But again, you're going to have air that's going to come out and not up the way it's supposed to. Which honestly probably isn't how it actually works. But I might throw it on there anyways, just because I have it. I have the other side that has the filter mount on it. It's trying to clean it off. It's obviously had an oil leak. I mean, or I could just rob it off of that one. Because that engine is actually out of the 1811. I think it ran. I don't know. But like I'm missing, like I need the valve covers. I think this engine actually was leaking because this whole side was covered in oil. I think it actually was leaking out of here. Because that's really loose. And this is where most of the oil was up here. You can see it still. I tried to clean it as best I could. It's still caked up here, and it was all caked down in here. So, but I think that's gonna wrap it up for right now. Kind of half put the exhaust on it, and then decide what I'm gonna do with that one. Probably just throw it back in the garage for tonight. I'm slowly losing daylight, so come back to it tomorrow probably, and go from there. Thanks for watching. Probably be doing more work, probably bringing up more videos this weekend. So keep you updated. Thanks for watching.